Hello everyone! Today I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break from my book hauls and my wrap-ups, and I'm going to bring you my thoughts on the Allegiant movie. I literally just got back from seeing Allegiant, or part 1, whatever they're calling it right now. I have a lot of thoughts on the movie. This is going to be a spoiler review, but I will do a little bit of a spoiler free in the beginning. So I thought it would be a good idea just to get my initial thoughts out there. As I said, I have a lot of thoughts on the movie. I don't know what I would rate it. It's mixed for me. As a book fan, I read all 3 books a long time ago. It was nothing like the books at all. If you're going into the movie hoping that it's like the books, which I don't know why you would, because from the trailers it does not look like the books at all, but if you're one of those people who would get just really mad that the movie is not like the book, I wouldn't suggest watching it. I knew going into this movie that it probably was not gonna be like the book, and it really wasn't like it at all. There were similar things and kind of the same theme, but mostly it was just completely different. But as I was going into this movie, I realized that, and I just accepted that it was going to be different, so that's why I think I enjoyed it. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't amazing by any means, but it was an entertaining movie. And I said this about Insurgent too. I think that if these weren't based off of books, they'd probably be a lot better and a lot more people would like them. But since they are based off of books, the book-to-movie adaptation part of it wasn't very good. As a fan of the books, I still thought the movie was entertaining, and as I said before, it wasn't perfect, and there was a lot of things I'm kind of like, okay, why is this happening? But other than that, yeah, I really don't have any more spoiler-free thoughts. Do I recommend this movie? Probably. I would see it. I mean, I would see it again. I'm not like, this was the most terrible movie I've ever seen and I don't ever want to watch it again. No, I definitely would watch it again. So I do recommend it, even if you are a fan of the books, just expect it to be totally different. That is going to be it for my spoiler-free review of the Allegiant movie. If you have not seen Allegiant, and if you have not read the book Allegiant, I would suggest that you don't watch this video. Bye, non-spoilery people. Okay. The movie pretty much started right from where Insurgent ended. So they were still in Chicago, people were trying to run to the gates to get out and to see the other world that's out there, but Evelyn, who's running Chicago now, was like, no, shut down the gates, no one can get out. They had these trials for the erudite and the people who were working with Janine, and it was basically just a death sentence, but Evelyn was kind of trying to make it seem like, oh, this is a trial, we're not just killing them, even though it was guaranteed anyway. Tris and Tobias didn't agree with this, but Evelyn did it anyway. It goes on to Tris and Tobias and Christina, Peter, and Caleb, and they're all going to escape and go over the wall, and that's kind of their plan. And that's like the beginning, maybe 20 minutes of the movie, and it was pretty good. I'm like, okay, this isn't bad. I'm enjoying this. This is okay. But once they got out into the bureau, as they call it, it just kind of went downhill from there. I think if they would have just sticked in Chicago, it would have been fine. As I said, I mentioned that I haven't read the books in a while, so maybe some things were more similar, but for the most part, it was different, which I guess kind of kept the movie exciting because you're like, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen because it's different from the book. So really anything could happen, which made it a little more fun, I guess. Miles Teller, aka Peter in the movies, made the movie. Made it. He was so funny. He was like probably my favorite part of the whole movie. Just all of his jokes. It just throughout the movie, he just kept on giving out jokes, and it's typical Peter. And I like was indifferent towards Peter in the books. I mean, I didn't like him, but I'm kind of like, okay, whatever. Like, I don't care about you. But Peter in the movies is like one of my favorite characters, just because Miles Teller is perfect and he's so funny. I also really thought that Caleb was pretty funny too for the most part. I really liked kind of at the end where he's like, yeah, right, I'm damaged, or something like that. I really don't remember what exactly he said, but I thought he was pretty funny. And Tobias is just my favorite. Theo James is so hot, and Tobias is my favorite character in the books, and in the movie he was just perfect. And yeah, there's not really much else I can say about that. When Tris and everyone else first got into the Bureau and they had to take those showers to like cleanse themselves basically, I just thought it was really funny. And I don't know if it was meant to be funny. I think it kind of was, because there was this voice. Don't really know who it was talking to Tris as she was walking through the shower, but it's like, go through. It's okay. It's okay, Tris. Just step forward. I'm like, this is so weird. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I get it because maybe she wouldn't know what to do. Whatever. It was kind of funny. The technology, it's just the way the movie was shot sometimes was just really weird. It was just way too advanced. It was way too advanced. Like the ships that they had and how they can control everything, and those little like droid things with the guns, and it was just all a lot. It was just too much for me, and I don't know why they did that. I don't know. But it just didn't look right, and it basically looked like they were on Mars. Like, I get it was radioactive, but it just didn't look right. I feel like if they maybe done it a little better, but it literally looked like they were on Mars or some, like, red planet, which, you know, I get. That was the one thing that really bugged me a lot about the movie, and I think that's what kind of put me off the most, because it was just so advanced, and I'm like, this isn't really like it, and that's not how it is in the books. The whole time they were actually in the Bureau, it seemed really rushed, and I understand, I get that they have to kind of move things along because it's not a book and they have limited time, but kind of jumping ahead of myself here, they basically ended the movie, and there isn't really much else they can do in part 2. I feel like they basically did the whole book, except for the ending of Allegiant, which I'm not going to spoil. I feel like there's nothing else that they can do, and I feel like they could have stretched it out between the two movies if they're doing 2 parts. I get maybe they wanted to end with an action sequence and kind of build the suspense, and it just seemed really fast, especially because I remember in the books when Nita and Tobias, with that whole thing where Tobias got really close with Nita, and we all hated her so much because we all thought that he was gonna do something with her, I don't know, and just leave Tris. But in the movie, I didn't mind her. I actually kind of liked her because, I mean, maybe they kind of flirted when she was teaching him how to use the guns, but other than that, she, like, helped them escape, so she really wasn't bad at all. I forgot how much the whole damaged thing got me mad. I don't think they called it damaged in the book. I really don't remember. But they called it damaged in the movie. So the Bureau was pure and Tris was pure and everyone else was damaged. And I hated when David was talking to Tris and he said something like, yeah, Tobias is damaged. And I'm like, have you seen his face? Okay, that is not a damaged face, alright? Just don't call him that. It got me so mad, and it got me really mad in the books too, but it made me even more mad because it's damaged. And the scene when Tris left For and didn't trust him just ticked me off to no end. I knew that eventually she would go back to him, But when she's like, I have to go, and I'm like, no, you don't have to go. Why would you leave him? You don't leave him. You wouldn't leave him. Just trust him. It was, it got me so mad. And I'm like, at least Tobias is trying to go out and do something because no one else is doing anything. And he was like the only one who actually had a level mind about this. It was really sad when Tobias went out, I forgot what they were called, when they went out to like rescue the children, and then that kid's dad got shot, and then Tobias realized, like, okay, wait a minute, this isn't what they're saying, like, they're not just taking these kids, they're capturing them and wiping their memories. And then he tried to go up and talk to Tris about it, actually do something to fix this. Shout out to that one guy, I don't even know his name, who helped Tobias when he's like, you're not actually going to Chicago. And I'm like, wow, that was really nice. Like, I don't even know your name, but thank you. After Tris left and realized that David was lying and none of this is okay, it kind of, the action started picking up, and it was pretty good. It kind of got me entertained, so I did like the fighting and kind of the action sequence. The only thing that just got me confused kind of was with the memory gas. So when they released the memory gas, like, went out everywhere, just like blowing out. It wasn't like little, like, okay, like, just here's a little bit of memory erasing gas, like, just kind of floating around. No, I mean, it was like pounding out of these air vents and just filling up the air. People were still able to get away from it. I know they needed action, so they couldn't just be like, oh, we're not gonna release the gas, yay, everything's good. You know, I knew it wasn't gonna be like that, but it's like, people, like, the smoke was coming up from underneath the people, so they were like stepping in it. So maybe if they breathe it in, but still, some people were like breathing it in, so they could just cover their mouths and they all be fine until the gas evaporates, I guess. Like, I don't know. It's just, it didn't make sense to me because it was surrounding them. I mean, it was in the air. I feel like if the gas was right here in front of my face, it would affect me. The ending of the movie, like the absolute end of it, I'm just like, I really don't even know. I'm kind of saying this for the whole movie, but Tris broadcasted out saying to Chicago and to the borough too that they're gonna fight back, they're not gonna let this fly. And then Tris is hugging Tobias, and over the loudspeaker, Tris's voice says, "This is our home," something like that. And then Tris, like her actual self, while she's hugging Tobias, was like, "And it always will be." She says that, so she's like, "And it always will be." It shows David watching them from the screen thing that they can see Chicago from, and then it just ends. You could have done that a lot smoother. It was just awkward because as he was standing there, it just like faded and it was like silent. It was just like boom, like here's the end credits, and I'm like, it was weird. So those are kind of all my thoughts. I'm sorry if those are really, really jumbled. I did enjoy it. I kind of bashed it a lot in this review, but it was just entertaining. It wasn't the best, and it wasn't really a lot like the book, but whatever. I'm over it. I'm kind of just accepted that that's the case. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe to my channel, please feel free to, and I will talk to you next time. Bye! And I said this about not Allegiant, pretty much right when, why do I keep mixing them up? And Theo, I was gonna say Theo, and Tobias, and I can't think of any of the characters' names. Green thing that they can see Chicago from, and then it just, that scared me.